I got a good topic for you guys today. Something that some of you guys have taken a little bit more time to dive into, but it's a topic that I think more of you can, you know, benefit from in some format and utilize in your own personal journey. And then obviously with coaching calls, I can always help fine tune and dial that in for you. But it's going to be We're going to dive into numbers as far as got you on here, Mike. So I was just
Hey,
talking. Hey, how you doing, man?
good.
Hey, this is a topic that's already. I'm going to actually dive into some of the stuff that you've already started down the pathway, which is good. It's and then we can have an open discussion. But I wanted to hit on so many of the guys that come into the program. I have conversations about is more the optimization stuff. It's more of like, hey, have you been to the doctor, got your testosterone, where's it at? What's the numbers? Have you asked those questions? Some of them, have, some of them haven't yet. So
Yeah,
I was gonna do an overview
yeah,
so some of this stuff for you is just gonna be, review, but it's good stuff.
right.
Um, and then we'll kind of open it up and talk any other things that we need to address and topics. And then we're still trying to I'm still trying to solidify another company. I've been in the process of doing that. I have one,
Yeah,
and I have one that is through a referral base. I just don't know a lot about them,
right.
and it's based out of Arizona. I was trying to educate myself a little bit more because they didn't give me a whole lot of stuff, and I'm like, yeah. And then the other one I know more about. A lot of the online folks that we are part of their group, the coaching program we're a part of, use this company. I've contacted them. Just it's harder to get to the people that we can make some type of partnership. So
Right.
it's just
Well,
I'm gonna have to call them again. I've emailed and I'm waiting on. So it's one of those things. But
I'm
anyway,
heading back out to Arizona in April. My brother-in-law's getting married out there, so we've already
nice.
got the place booked. So
What we're at Phoenix, you said?
yeah, he's between
Yeah,
Phoenix and Scottsdale. Yep.
yeah. That's fun. That'll be good. That's a good time to be out there too.
Yeah,
It's
April's perfect. We were in there
yeah,
July last year, and it was 113 about every day. So we stayed in the pool until the sun went down almost every day.
that's hilarious. Oop, I need to shut that. Let me get this pulled up. I have too many of my tabs open. I need to kill these. Usually I kill them all. Uh,
Felt
let's
that
see.
15 going up on the bench today. Man,
What'd you hit?
I didn't finish it.
No, I've seen you
I hit,
pull down.
I
You
hit
went like you had
13,
you,
245.
yeah, something like that. Did you pull down on one set or just you just split it up?
I had 12 and 3.
Yeah. I thought I seen
Yeah.
you'd split it up, but all
Yeah,
good.
because I stopped and could not get it up and then I finally got it up and set it down. And then I took like 20 seconds and then did the last three. And then that was it. There was nothing left.
Yeah, I smoked myself out. I had bench today too, and I smoked myself out on the bench press. Once I got over to incline, the same thing happened to me. I didn't get I went up to 20 reps on my finisher. So I went kick similar to what you're doing because we started a little bit
Yeah.
different. So I did 10 8 6 4 this week, and then I tried the 20, and I didn't make. I hit 16.
It was
But
crazy to me when I got to the medicine ball slams,
yeah,
how much that hurt just to pick that medicine ball up for that 25 seconds. I'm like, damn, I did
yeah,
something today.
yeah. Got some fatigue, and that's the whole point of drop sets.
Yeah.
Again, it's if you miss the mark, that's what you're supposed to do. It pushes you to
Yeah.
some type of failure. Uh, yeah. So I hit. What did I hit? I hit for a set of four. I did 295. I think 290, 295 somewhere there, which is good. I mean. And then
Yeah.
I tried to do 190 for 20 and I got 16.
We went to that powerlifting competition
Oh yeah, yeah. How'd that
on
go?
Saturday. He qualified for nationals. He's going to nationals in January in Vegas,
Nice.
but he didn't have anybody competing with him against the class. He was going to do equipped, and then the shirt he ordered
You said that
didn't
didn't come in?
fit. So
Yeah.
didn't fit right. So he just went unequipped. He just went natural, and
Raw, yeah.
he went raw, and he got he wasn't, I think his bench was only 315, 325, something like that. But he didn't need, because no one else showed up for that weight class. All he needed to do is basically just get his lifts so
Yeah.
he could go.
Yeah, he yeah, needed to
So,
qualify lift. What was his weight? What do
right,
you what was his weight again? You said you told me. I forget.
205.
205. Yeah, like I said, that could be a deadly class right there. You just never know.
Right. So, and he had to gain 15 pounds to get in there. So he was carving up a couple days before, and
Is he it's very tall?
no, he's not a very big guy at all.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a guy at that I became friends with, Aaron and I became friends with at Lifetime. He I think he's 120 some class, but he's won the Arnold out at the Arnold Classic
Yeah.
the last 2 years. He's like defending champion in his weight class.
Do you know Shane Nutt?
You said that. You said that name.
Nutt.
You know, I've been out of it so long. Mm-mm.
That's who Braden's trainer is. He's out of Indy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't, you know, like I said, I haven't been around that in, almost 20 years, over 20
He
years
can
now.
he competed. He was competed there too. I think I forget what he did on his deadlift. 606 or something, but
Yeah, it's good.
there was a guy trying 715 on the bench.
715.
715.
Yeah.
Didn't even come close, but he tried.
No. Yeah, the guy that was my mentor, I think he ended up pressing in the 242 class. I think he did it like 705 or seven, right at that mark, 685. So he was he was one of the first ones to bench over 600 pounds in the 242 masters class. Yeah, crazy. So hey, I'll roll through this and then we'll open
Sure.
it up and see what other questions you have and see,
Sure.
see how you're doing. So the topic is going to be obviously optimization. It's one part of it that I've personally taken interest in because my own health journey, and I think it's very powerful for most guys, really 35 plus, to really dial in this component because there's so many other benefits, and I think you can catch if you can catch it at that marker point, you can really prevent some of the downfall, even some of the downfall that I had to experience before it starts to happen. And we're going to talk about obviously TRT numbers and peptides because those are all, important components. And obviously the marketplace is loaded up with that. Why does it matter? Some of the components with testosterone in itself, there's we're seeing a downtrend in levels of testosterone, and a lot of that it can be correlated back to environment. But with that said, it can impact your performance as well. And other things besides environment can really start to pull your testosterone levels down fairly quickly. And we're seeing that. The stress component, as we know, we all have it. We all, try to manage it the best we can. The sleep component, and then obviously diet, the types of foods or chemicals you're consuming can really push the levels of your testosterone down. Water, environmental factors as well. So when you optimize this and bring those levels back up to a normal or healthy range, better energy, muscle focus, confidence. So it's going to impact the internal working systems as well. So other systems will work better with your testosterone level at the right component because it's really one functioning system, and when parts are off, it can strain the other systems. And then, testosterone, eh, and I've listened to multiple podcasts on testosterone and learned more about this. It just really got a bad rap. It really shouldn't be labeled. I don't think it should be labeled a controlled substance. That was a bad deal because I think it's an opportunity to really curb some of the health decline in men. Uh, you know, obviously women use a lot of different therapies for hormonal components, and since men, it got such a bad rap, we're just now starting to really push back on the other side, and there's a lot of education and doctors, pushing back and saying, hey, we really need this as in more hands because of the health benefits. So as we have lower testosterone production, TRT can replace natural testosterone when levels are low. And mine personally was the 360s, I think, when I finally got mine tested. Again, I wish it's part of the process of maybe when you're like 18 or 20. If you get a baseline, I think that would be a great marker point. Then every 5 years, maybe they should do some type of test. That way you could prevent the fall off. Um, and there's different ways to deliver the mechanism testosterone. The muscular injection's the best way for the body to absorb it, but there's other avenues now, gels, pellets, patches. And I believe one of the podcasts, which I think I shared with you, Mike, way back, they are really close to getting this one pass where it's oral. And it's really they've shown a lot of really good benefits, and they've because before you'd had to take in X amount of fat because your body wouldn't convert it properly from an oral standpoint. But I think they're really close to getting that out on the market. And it's going to help a lot of people who don't want to have to go through injections because that's a that can be cumbersome. But anyway, goal with the testosterone therapy, restore optimal and get the system functioning. And because there's other health problems that will show themselves with low testosterone. And here's some of the things that we can brush these off and say, well, I'm just tired, or it was a long day, but you really got to be in tune with your energy, what it looks like is and check it, monitor your sleep and start like checking the boxes on all the other components that can cause some of these symptoms to make sure that you're not suffering from low testosterone. Because a lot of times we may think it's not low testosterone when it is, because we haven't taken the time to go get the testing in or deep enough testing. So fatigue, loss of drive, decreased muscle mass, increased belly fat, mood changes, irritability, low libido, performance issues. I know some of these components right on here. I personally was, kind of brushed them off because I had been through multiple stressful years. And then when I went through a phase where I was like, okay, I want to get lean again, I hit a marker point where I just couldn't. It just flatlined, and I started losing muscle. And I was like, yeah, something's not right. And that's when it kind of started, triggering. And then I knew my thyroid was off a little bit. And then obviously it snowballed from there. And we, Aaron and I decided to invest in a higher level program with optimization. And then obviously they showed all the components that were wrong. And most of them are fixed now. I'm not 100%, but I'm running pretty close to that specifically for my age, and I can't complain. So here's just some of the major numbers, and this is most of the time this is where I educate you guys, because your doctor, general practitioner is not going to do all the testing, and then they'll say, well, your insurance doesn't cover it. Well, it's not that expensive outside of pocket, to be honest, for what data points you can get. So a lot of times we'll just see one or two of these marker points tested, and they won't go deep enough because some of them could be normal ranges and some of them could be off. And if you don't test all of them, you won't know. So total testosterone, and these are some general marker points of health, of where you should be: free testosterone, estradiol, SHBG, and then the hematocrit, and obviously the PSA. As we age, they start recommending getting some of that PSA taken care of, 40, 45, somewhere in that range. I don't know if they've changed that. I know some of those data points they've changed. I personally, a couple years ago, just went in and got a bunch of tests. I didn't go this deep because, again, I didn't take the time to educate myself this level. But I wanted some general marker points with a colonoscopy and PSA and things like that back when I had just turned 40, 41, because obviously having two young kids, I just wanted to, start checking off the boxes a little bit before. First thing the doctor said, he goes, well, insurance is not going to cover it. I was like, I don't care. So let's get it done. So you're gonna have to be an advocate sometimes for your own health. Well, not sometimes, all the time, really. And then the lipid panels you can dive into liver enzymes and things of that nature. So that goes a little bit deeper. So blood work you must get, and this is for the again, kind of for the overview. I just went through the numbers too. Total and free testosterone, the SHBG, estradiol, really sensitivity because it can throw the system off. The CBC, PSA, lipid panels, liver panels, fasting glucose and insulin. Obviously, that's going to be in a fasting state. Sometimes we have to remind people that because uh, the practitioner will forget to tell them, hey, you got to be in a fasting state because we want to make sure the insulin and insulin responses are good or in a fasting level. So those were all the tests and the things for the testosterone. Now, what are peptides? Peptides are a short chain of an amino acid that signals your body to perform a specific function. That's the cool part about this. We have this technology now that we can use these peptides to stimulate things in the body if they're not working properly or if they're running low. With a natural aging process, some of these systems start to function at a level that can start impacting your health. So what happens is we can utilize these peptides to push the natural function of these systems back up to the normal ranges, which that's really cool. That's like anti-aging component and quality, right? So you always want to think about quality of life. As you live longer, you want to be able to function as the best you can, feeling good, having energy, and all the above as long as you can. So an instance would be increasing growth hormone. So there's peptides and I don't there I touched on one of them. I didn't go through every which peptide that goes towards, growth hormone, connective tissue. I did just touch on the main ones, which I'll go through here in a second. But increasing growth hormone, repairing tissue, or burning fat, peptides can manipulate any of these components. Hey, I'm still waiting on the hair growth one. You know that. They say that's coming down the pipeline, man.
That makes two of us. That makes two of us. I'm right there with you, waiting on that one.
I was giving the owner of the company the bragging that I was giving him a hard time. He never came back and gave me. I was like, hey, can you do this?
I'm sure they'll have something soon.
Yep, yep. So so here's some of the top peptides, which I don't have experience with all these. I would have to do a little bit more research in some of them. Some of them I'm familiar with. So the first one, you're going to see this go around the CJC 1295. There's going to be different, and this is for boost growth hormone and recovery. It's more of a growth hormone stimulation. And what it does with that combination of peptide, it may have a longer life cycle within the body or a shorter one. And that's the big, there's types of peptides that will do specific things at specific time and timing. So, for instance, the ipamorelin, Aaron has actually used that. I've never used it. They never put me on it. They use a celamorelin for me, which is mine's a low dose, longer lasting. The ipamorelin, they want to cycle that with somebody because that's a quick boost. And then I think the CJC 1295 is a combination where the epimorelin will be instant, and then the CJC will be a slow release. So that way, the stimulation of the growth hormone is a longer period of time. There, and that's just from a physiology standpoint and a chemical response. Your physician or practitioner should understand some of these and use them for the purpose of how to help your system recover, function better. And then BPC 157 is tissue healing. It helps with gut repair also and joint recovery. You're seeing this in the marketplace a lot. I know some of the guys that I work with are asking me about it. I've only used it from a compounding pharmacy. I don't know it outside of that. in the process of trying to solidify some other partnerships where I can get you guys access to some of this stuff. Obviously, there will be a fee with you having access to the practitioners. It's just where our marketplace is going. So I've used it in both. I just came off of the injections, subcutaneous injections, and I'm in an oral format now. And it was more my protocol change. So I've noticed a significant difference using that as well with recovery, how I feel the aches and pains are much less based upon the volume of work I'm doing. Uh, the TB 500, I don't know a whole lot about this. I would have to do a little bit more research myself, but it's supposed to help improve muscle and tendon repair. Again, obviously these are abbreviations for what the peptide is. I would have to dig down and see exactly what that peptide is. I'm just giving you some of the top ones you may see in the marketplace. And this other one, Kipa peptide, I can already say that. Kipapeptin, there you go, 10. It stimulates natural testosterone. I don't know anything on this one either. I'm going to do on these two when I pulled all this up. Um, actually, well, the fifth one I've heard about because if your numbers are off, they can put you on that. But the three and four, I'm intrigued to dig down on those a little bit more. I see them flash through on social media. I see all these guys come on there and start talking about all these peptides. I'm like, what in the world? Peptide stacks and this and that. You just want to be careful, obviously. Uh, so the PT 141, that's libido and sex performance. Sometimes when your system, when you put TRT in the system, it could throw some of the other responses in your testosterone production and the ability to be fertile and stimulate any sexual component. It may throw that whole system off. If that happens, they can use other peptides to kind of counterbalance the whole system. Knock on wood, I've been fine. I'm not having any other kids, so I don't have to worry about that that thing. But it can affect guys in different ways, specifically if the libido falls off and stuff like that. Um, they can obviously stimulate some of those components and fix again. It's a system, and then the AOD 9604. I should have put the GLP ones in this category. So fat loss accelerator. You guys are probably more familiar with the GLP ones. Those are probably more along the lines of seeing out on the marketplace. And what those peptides do is with the GLP ones, it's a weight loss peptide, stabilizes insulin response, fat oxidation, and then it crunches down your appetite response and slows your digestion. The other things that I've learned about the GLP ones because we've had to because we have so many people that come through our uh, our coaching program who are on it looking for more help is it it's been shown to help with inflammatory response as well. So it pulls your natural inflammation down. So they've been finding other uh, great benefits of the GLP ones in these new versions. They're becoming better and better and better. With the fat oxidation is just a game changer, and it could be a game changer for a lot of people because it's what we try to do when we're manipulating your carbs, fats, and proteins, and making you do heavy resistance training or some type of resistance training to pull down your calories, get you in a deficit so your body goes into natural fat oxidation. But man, if you can help that along, it accelerates the process. This is, where I would come in and say this because I've seen too much of this on the marketplace, which is scary. Um, and I'll be really transparent. I contacted a guy that I knew from way back. He used to own gyms in South Dakota. Had a conversation with him. He bought a TRT, opened up a TRT clinic. I thought we were going to have a partnership. I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect because I kind of know him. It's been a while. He So what he's doing is he's sourcing the products from out of the country. Which once he said that, a red flag, because I don't know where it's coming from. Is it coming from China? No thanks. But what they're doing in some of these TRT clinics is they're sourcing these chemical compounds outside of the U.S., getting them cheaper. They're compounding them in-house and then selling them. They're testing them, but that just scares me. Once he said that, I was like, dude, if you can't get them from compounding pharmacy, I just couldn't refer a client to you guys. So it's the Wild West. You always want to do your research, knowledgeable clinical, where they get it. Make sure it's a compound in pharmacy because there's too many of these compounds floating around, specifically peptides floating around the marketplace right now that are really not regulated well enough. And the combination of compounds of the makeup may be sourced from outside the country. Is it tainted? Did they deplete it? What are you getting? So just be careful. And then you really want to do regular labs every 3 to 6 months. The cool part about labs now, you can order them yourself to be transparent. You can go on, as long as you know the general makeup of what you need to order, you can go do this yourself and order some of these yourself. If not, I have access uh, to uh, first scripts or full scripts, excuse me, and I can do that through that and give you the script to go do it yourself. The cool part is when you get it back, you can take it and throw it into ChatGPT, and you have to do some really good prompts, but it will give you a breakdown of if you don't understand how to read it, it'll give you a breakdown of how to read it and tell you what areas you have deficiencies in, which that's pretty cool. Just gives you a knowledge base. It's just going to help you understand some of those components. So you always want to do retesting with any type of TRT, with any type of peptide, because as systems start to function better, you may need to make adjustments in the process. Peptides are a tool, not a shortcut. You got to have the foundation solid. We teach that foundation inside the program. Things that make and accelerate all this, sleep, obviously the resistance training, because that's going to help with putting on lean tissue, and obviously recovery metrics. Okay, what does your stress response look like? What does your nutrition look like? Are we putting all these combinations together to create an environment, not only for you to perform well, but to have energy, to keep your muscle mass, to keep all the other systems, and all your testosterone, your growth hormone, your insulin, all in functioning, healthy functioning ranges. So obviously, you guys already know this. Strength training, minimum 3 days, 3 to 5. A lot of times I'll cycle just three just because the volume I put inside the programming. Plus, you only have to go to the gym 3 days a week and get it done. You prioritize sleep, dial that in as much as you can. That's always a process, 7 to 8 hours. Protein, that should be up to 1.5 to 2. You can go that high. That's one is a starting component, and then we push you guys a little bit higher. Alcohol consumption and stress, those two things can really impact the system and have it and take a toll on your testosterone production. So if you guys need more information on numbers, never hesitate. I have a lot of resources to help you out. Your coaching calls, we can dive deeper into this. And again, I'm still working on some partnerships. We have one now, but the barrier is hard for some of you guys to go after. So I'm trying to find a lower barrier that you guys can get access to. So we want to know your numbers. TRT restores balance. Uh, it can kind of stabilize your whole system and then obviously allow you to put lean tissue back on, get your growth hormone fixed, get the system functioning. Peptides enhance recovery, fat loss, and vitality. Really, they can manipulate the system um, to make it function better as we age. The other peptide I probably should have put on there and I forgot it's glutathione. Glutathione is naturally produced in the body. As we age, the production starts to fall off, and glutathione helps with a detox. So it detoxes the body, helps with your immune system, helps with recovery, detoxes the whole system itself. So that was one of I probably should have put on there again as glutathione. And then obviously lifestyle is always going to be the foundation for you guys. Labs, let me know about those. Obviously, the clinics, if you have questions about the clinics, let me know. We want to get the foundation solid first, optimize the foundation, and then we bring all the other components in to push that up where it normally needs to be. So, guys, if you have other questions, never hesitate, reach out. I've been through the process myself personally, understand it. from a science level, and I can get you guys resources to help if you have, or if you know you have some problems, and or be an advocate to communicate with your doctor. Because I've done that. I've asked some of you guys, hey, ask your doctor to do these tests. How come you're not doing these tests? Sometimes it, after the conversations, it can be good or bad. Maybe you need a new doctor, and and that's okay too. So, all right. Any questions on that, Mike?
No, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
obviously
stuff.
you're in the journey right now.
Yeah.
You've done some of this stuff in the past, and obviously you're on your next journey, a little bit higher level journey, and more, um, peptides, and I'm excited to see what comes of your first, blood draw, and see how the
Yeah.
system's functioning. Um,
Yeah. And two, I'm anxious to see what this next lab looks like.
so, and then you feeling pretty good. You feel like, I mean, because last time I talked to you, you seemed like
Yeah.
you were doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I think the days that I don't feel good, it's self-inflicted with the sleep and recovery piece.
Yeah.
It's you can see it in the Whoop score with
Yeah.
when the stressful day, a lot going on, and then don't sleep sound, and then the next day,
Cycles.
it's directly related to that. So,
Yeah.
um, but the recovery is definitely 9 day different with the peptide on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The 157, you can definitely tell
Yeah. Just the aches,
just the one
the
day
aches and
between.
pains are really tamped down. I mean, I still
Yeah, what
have,
I did this morning would have taken me 3 days to recover from before.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
would have been,
And like, so by, I mean, by Friday, you'll be feeling pretty good. You'll be feeling like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I'm back in here
oh yeah,
lifting. Yeah.
yeah,
I really noticed that, after the first about month when I started that, well, especially with my testosterone, because my testosterone was pretty low. It took about a month, and once that started kicking in, I was like, oh man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, my recovery's
yeah,
better. And then I was like, man, my aches and pains have really tamped down,
but yeah,
so, and that's awesome because how you feel, obviously that's part of the process.
exactly.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
good.
anxious to get these shoes too. So they said they've been shipped, so I'm anxious
Yeah,
to try those out.
hey, those are it's a good company. I have no complaints with them. I've used them probably, well, I don't know, 6 years or so now.
Yeah,
When I first got them, they were fairly new company in the market. They're growing leaps and bounds. Uh,
right.
because when I first bought them, there was only like three styles.
Yeah,
Now they
yeah,
have a
they get a little
ton
bit
of
of
them.
everything now.
Yeah, I seen that. I got on their site. I was like, whoa, they got boots, they got this.
Yeah,
Um, but it may take you a little bit of time to adjust to having a wide box because it's going to feel like you're
yeah,
walking around with no shoes on.
yeah,
I remember because I've always had an issue with because my foot's wide, especially at the end. When I first put them on, I was like, this feels fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
I don't feel like my foot's cramped up.
Right. Yeah,
And so, they're one of the best, obviously, shoes that I've used for just general lifting, where you can do everything with them
right.
and feel pretty
Yeah,
good with it. Like I told you, if I've ran in them. I haven't ran in a long time, but I have done some running in them. It takes a little bit to get okay with that, but even Erin did at
yeah,
first. She was like, I don't know about these. I don't know if I'm gonna run in them. And once she started, she's like, these are great. And I was like, I told you.
yeah,
Because it's going to allow your foot to kind of do its own thing. That's what's going to take a little bit of time for adjustment. Is your foot naturally your arch and all the musculature in your foot is really supposed to do that work, but with an arch supporting it, it starts to get weaker.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had arch supports for a long time.
Mm,
And then I took those out, I don't know, probably close to 6 months ago now and haven't
good.
used them in anything.
Yeah, I
But I
think we
can
get
still
your.
tell when I get 315, I get over 300 on the bar with those running shoes and
Oh
step
yeah.
back.
Oh yeah.
You can
That's
feel it when you
yeah.
step back with it. So,
Yeah. With you, it's getting your back stronger and your patterns better.
yeah,
Really, that should help kind of minimize or eliminate the arch stuff that you may have going on. Not always, but sometimes what happens is some other components of the system are out of alignment or there's some compensation. And if you can get functioning better, you're going to have less issues going on. You just obviously play around with, but it's good you haven't had arch supports, so it's not like you're ripping arch supports out and jumping right in a flat shoe.
Same time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I took
yeah,
them out first.
yeah.
But
One
I was
step at a
buying them
time.
all the time. I was buying those for, well, they said I had what is it, plantar fasciitis,
Yep.
where I had my foot, my heel, my Achilles kind of really tightened up there for a while. But yeah, it definitely, I mean, I can tell a big difference just on like the pistol squats, this rotation,
Yep.
stability on that, doing,
Yep.
just the one leg stuff is, I can definitely tell I'm getting better at the balance.
Yeah. Yeah. The hip and everything's getting stronger, glute, all that stuff. As I get stronger,
Yeah.
it's just it correlates and everything else. It's awesome.
Still,
That's good.
still cussing those glute bridges though. I was doing that this
I
morning.
know. I see it. What, 185?
I
It's
went to
still good.
165 or
Is that what
165 on those today, I think.
is that what it was?
I was
165?
145 before, went 165 today. So
Nobody likes. I didn't even like those, man.
it's just a location thing for me,
Yeah. No,
like
I get
trying to
it.
find a spot to get on the bar with like to lay down in the gym.
I know. Put you in a vulnerable
But it's only,
position.
yeah, it's only 10
Come.
reps, but through that rotation, but it's just
Oh yeah. No, to get you.
good to
It'll
sit
get you.
out. Yeah.
That's one of those sneaky, movements. You're like, oh, is it's working? Then you're like, oh, it's getting harder. I can't
Yeah.
contract my hamstrings and glutes.
Yeah.
That's the ladies, movement. All the ladies do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they put the booty bands on and do glute
I got
bridges.
to figure out with this trip in April, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Sounds like we might be going out for 10 days. So I'm gonna have to
Okay,
figure out um
I just hit a gym up,
a
man.
gym
Yeah,
setup. Yeah, I got to figure
yeah.
out something
I
temporarily while I'm
mean,
there.
there's obviously just, I mean, just tell me location. We can look around. Typically, you can find a gym you can pop in for 20, $30 for the whole week or something. They do a day
Yeah.
pass and we've done that so many times in our travels that we would look around, see where obviously where a hotel's at. If our hotel's not, and some hotel you got to get a little bit more expensive if you're going to get a full on gym. Last time we were, it wasn't the last time we were out there, but we were out there a couple years ago. I went to a conference. It was when was it? It was a kids' fall break, I think. So it was over a year ago. And it was like a kind of like Airbnb, but it was a apartment complex. The reason we got it was because it had a really big, nice gym.
Workout area. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Aaron found it. It's like, oh, this is perfect. We just, we'd walk over
Yeah,
and,
we got we got a house with, I think there's 15 of us going to be
ooh,
in the Airbnb, but the house sleeps like 20 some. Um, but I'll have to find a gym in that area somewhere.
yeah, we can
Get
look around.
something figured out.
Yeah, navigate that. I mean, most of the time you go in those gyms, the setup's pretty similar to, they
Yeah.
got your foundational components that you're
Right.
used to using. It's just I've just had to change rep scheme sometimes because they didn't, some places didn't have certain things, but that's
Yeah.
all good. Those are easy situations, but all good, man.
All right.
So
Well, I'm gonna jump.
yeah, I bet you have a rough week then, pretty busy.
It's just, yeah, it's just chaotic with a lot of the Q4 stuff. So they just announced the annual Q3 earnings summary, or for the shareholders. So that announcement went out, and then you got 60 days left of the year to lock in some of the other stuff. So there's a lot of rebudgeting and tighten up to finish out. So and then
Reviews and yeah.
reviews. So, yeah, so I got one of those done today and had two I had to reschedule because other meetings were running long, so bumped them. And the deadline for those is Friday, so I've
Oh
got
shit. Yeah.
five to cram in the next 2 days.
Hang in
And if they
there.
have questions or follow up, so but we'll get it nailed down.
All
I'm not
right,
worried
man.
about it. All right,
Hang in
have a good
there.
one.
All
We'll
right,
talk
we'll
to you
talk to
later.
you. Yeah,
Appreciate
good
you.
job, man.
See you.
See ya.